But just what is cryonics, and what does the Cryonics Institute
Well, good morning, everybody. It is Monday the 15th, January 15th, 2018. I got my glasses on. Turn the camera on. Okay. My voice may sound a little raw this morning because I am born and raised Minnesotan. Well, actually, I was just born across the border. My hometown in Minnesota is really small. It's right on the border of here in South Dakota, and I was born in South Dakota, but I mean, it's like 10 miles from where we live. Anyways, but raised in Minnesota my whole life. Yesterday was the Vikings game versus the Saints. It was magical. And if you're into football in the NFL, you're kind of aware of the unfortunate events that the Vikings go through all the time. And so my throat is a little raw, voice totally gone last night after jumping and screaming. So forgive my sound, voice, whatever. Also, get a lot of sleep. Anyways, today is it's a holiday in the United States. Um, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and it's a federal holiday as well. So don't expect a whole lot of massive action during U.S. trading hours. Um, it's just another holiday week. I mean, I love holidays, but for trading, they really ruin weeks. Well, let's look at let's see. I put on Friday, the only real trade idea I had was that there was a short opportunity for the euro at 21.16 and 21 1 point 216 and 218, and we are well beyond that range. So, and I was talking on Friday also about the euro, how we can start to have a very bullish bias when we get back above 45. This is actually, this black diagonal line here is a long trend line from all the way back in November, and that is still there, and we're still above it. And I want to kind of go over also what a parabolic move is. Also, on the portal, I just uploaded to the Forex Lens guys. I put up a setup video, so that'll be on there shortly here, where you can see how I set up my charts. I'll show you the oscillators that I use, where to find them in the indicator section, and how to use that square tool that you just saw, the one with the arcs. So let me clean all this up here. So really, a parabolic move is like it's like an advance, it's an uptrend in which the angle increases as it moves up. Okay, so let's look at that for a second. We can actually use an angle. We should go back. Oh, let's see where. Oh, that's just fine. All right, so we've got. Let's just say that this is our trend angle here. Dang it, that's frustrating. Turn up the mic. So we've got this move, all right, at 20 degrees. And then we've got this move at 32. And then we've got, and those are not honest angle measurements, by the way. And then we've got this guy at 82, roughly. That angle is going to maybe change as I move it here. 79. Okay. Now, whether those are honest, I mean, you're going to see how they don't stick here very well. I don't know what's up with this angle tool in TradingView, but it moves a lot. So it's a 70. Where we put it before, it was a 79, a 32, and a 20. So this is really a parabolic move. The easiest way is see how it moves its trend lines increasingly up. All right. So if it has more than one uptrend support level, then what we're saying is that move is parabolic. They always pretty much lead to some type of um, um, elevated volatility, and they are almost always met by equal violent corrections. That's usually in the same manner that it went up. So we need to be careful, but we can have a long bias with the euro now, thankfully, finally, but we're not going to want to get in here long now until we get down a little bit, because could this guy move up more? Sure, yeah, we could go up higher. Parabolic moves are very violent swings to the north. We went above this longer term trend line, but we have the new moon phase coming up. It's a new moon that is coming up. The phase is new, but it is also a new moon that is happening on the 16th, which means that when something is at or near market high, that prices have a high probability of coming down. Well, we are at really, really massive market highs. We've got a lot of bullish indications here on the euro, and the euro pair kind of sets us up for a lot of how everything else is going to trade. Where am I at here? Oh yeah. All right. So we can just look at the price action from Friday, because we're only looking at 12th through the 15th. Okay. But we had just big pushes through. Didn't even get any resistance here. Didn't get any resistance there. We just blew through this one overnight. Like early 2 in the morning when the London opened. But we are kind of floating around up here. We don't have a lot of participation at these ranges. We're near a new moon, so we have some bearish sentiment up here. But overall we can have a fairly bearish bias. And I've said before that I'm not a huge fan of what am I saying? I'm not a huge fan of Fibonacci's on anything less than a week. But if we were to put up a weekly, let's do a weekly Fibonacci here. And I better hide this one as well. And you don't need to know that. But let's go from the most recent swing low to where we are now. I started a little early because we got a lot to go over with this kind of move. So if I'm looking at the weekly, and go away. And if we prescribe to Gann's theory that things like to retrace, like 50% of their movement, or even go as far as back finding support down here, then we are looking at put on the hourly. We are looking at a fairly significant move down, which would be very healthy and great for us to go back long. And the reason I have zero re-entries around here. I mean, in fact, if this stays at these elevated levels, we may have to wait up to a few weeks before we get a safe long entry. So I want you to look at these oscillators. Let's look at the 8-hour. On the 8-hour chart for the euro, I want you to just take a peek at these levels in our oscillators. And let's bring it down a little bit. I want to kind of get like an even idea here. So on the 8-hour chart, we have key divergence area right here. Although we've had divergence repeatedly in this pair. There's a lot of other fundamental reasons why this is moving up here too. I mean, global growth is going to really pump up. Yeah. So for folks who kind of have this viewpoint that if you're a U.S. trader and you're new to Forex trading, or you just wonder about this, you may often wonder, well, if the economy is doing so great, why are the dollar pairs doing so poor? Well, because if let's say you're an investor and you have a boatload of money, you're going to want to put it where it's going to have the most growth, right? And so generally where you're going to get the most return on your investment. So generally where that happens is it's going to be in the place with the most risk, and that is going to be emerging economies. That's going to be places generally outside the U.S. Europe really doesn't kind of fall into that risk category. I think it does, but it may not. But you're not going to have as much risky big growth here compared to an emerging market, which I can't think of one off the top of my head. But the other thing is that it is kind of bullish for the U.S. economy, but not for the dollar, because if everybody's currency is gaining more value against the dollar, that means they have more money to buy stuff in the United States. They have more stuff to buy stuff from Canada. Canada and the U.S. were like right there together. We have like the most connected ties economically together. We are like brothers from other mothers. I know I'm putting Canada in my conversation here about this, but I mean it affects them as well. So when there's more valuable currency somewhere else that's more expensive than your own, it's cheaper for people to buy stuff from you. So really, that is one of the reasons why your currency goes down, like the U.S. dollar. That's why it's going down. Just not a lot of risk right now. Just kind of moves around. I think I'm explaining that the right way. A little out of it from last night. So, just looking at this, we have really, really elevated levels in our oscillators. All right, let's take a peek at the 4-hour chart. Same thing. Very, very flat here. We've got really large overbought conditions. Let's bring us down to the hourly. Hourly, we're just ping-ponging in here. Now, this would have been a good area to trade on Friday afternoonish, where this is pretty typical in a parabolic move. You're going to find a lot of support on the RSI pulling back to the default 70 zone. In a strong uptrend that's not a parabolic move, you'll find that the RSI will have a lot of support between 50 and 65. So that like when the RSI dips down there and bounces off, that means it's just going to keep going higher. All right, so keep that in mind. Again, I enjoy that we can have a long bias coming into this guy, but we want to see that corrective move before we do anything else. It is a very parabolic move. We've had like a 3-phase increased massive angle, and we're going to want to wait for a little bit of a pullback before we re-enter in here. Ideally it would do that. We'll see though. we might not see that today, just because we're not going to have a whole lot of participation in this market today. We're going to have to wait till tomorrow to see what happens. So we'll see. All right. So no trade on the euro right now. I mean, we could say we want to go long. Maybe it'll pull back to 121.21. No, that's too soon. Play it safe. Our 50% retracement is kind of near that value, 119.20. I can spell. So I'm going to say like 1.2020 and 0.193. There we go there. Otherwise, there is an opportunity to short probably at a break of this trend line. Let me bring back our square here. Right, a return to this 45 would be an ideal area. I mean, we could have a short with a stop above 23. All right, those are in the WhatsApp right now. Okay, then we have, let's go to the gold trade. Gold, same kind of move. Had a nice, we did have some moves last week that got some pips, and then we were looking at a short bias due to kind of a lack of move here, but then we just had a blow up and a big drive up. Now, gold is in a touchy spot because not only does it have a parabolic move, not only is it, it's got the same conditions here that the euro is in. Oscillators a little different values, but that's all right. We're coming up on this angle. Now, remember, the law of angles is that when an angle is broken, it will always move to test the next one. So the next angle, if we break, because we're going to break this in time, and that means that the angle that has to be tested next is either the one down here, or it has to move all the way up and break the angle right up here. Now, or it could ride this angle the whole way up, but these are pretty elevated moves. These are very steep angles. In fact, when we were measuring the euro, that last angle was in the high 70, like 77 plus, just on that. I mean, you could tell that just without having to draw it, but Gann was big on those moves being very fast, and they will correct very fast. They generally never sustain that level. So we can expect that with gold here. In fact, it's kind of leveling off a bit. Again, though, being as how big these moves have been, we may see a lot of participation up. We have kind of broken a long-term structure here in both the euro and the gold as far as these levels. So gold, I mean, we could look at gold moving way higher. If it were to break the high back in September of 1358, we're kind of knocking on that door, but for right now, we are just kind of hanging here. So we want to be watch for this. If we get a break down of this is our opportunity to perhaps buy back long, but I want to watch this play out first. The gold trade I'm not interested in getting into yet. I want to wait to see how it responds. If we come down past this angle and we're not, because we'll see this tomorrow morning where price is at when we visit. If we get when we see what happens at this angle, we'll see if there's still going to be some bullish moment. We may get a pullback trade by the time we visit tomorrow. We'll see though. Okay, dollar yen. Oh, gotta reset that scale. Out of scale rather. Oh man, this guy is beat up. Oof. Also, take a look at the DXY. This guy dollar is just falling apart. Big gap down there. Look at that. Gap down from 91. The close was, what was the close? We had a close at 91.90, and then we had a gap down at the open of 90.97. So like a dollar drop over the. So we're well below the lows of last September, which broke the lows of May of 2016, and now we're back at the same levels we were at in December of 2014. So we've had quite a adjustment here in the dollar. Where will it find support? Well, that is a long ways down. I think we can expect some natural resistance at 90. And the only reason I'm talking about this is because we should expect a bounce at these levels, and that the dollar index is, it is a representation of other currencies, but we want to see what the response is. If it does not hold 90, it's going to boom down. This is something that's affecting all those dollar trades more than anything. Now let's take a peek at the dollar yen pair. So we have this black line, means that we have a new moon coming up. That means that if the market is at or near market highs, that it's a short opportunity. We are not there at all. We are at market lows. So what does that mean? That means that when price is at this level during that moon phase, that we can get more sell-off. But generally, we have a continuation of trend, but it's just a shallow move, or it consolidates, or we can even have an up move for a whole month, where the new moon happens, and then we wait a few days, and then we start an uptrend. We get back to our full moon, which is at our near market lows, which is a buy, and then we do that. I mean, again, moon phase reactions can happen before or after. Generally, a week before or a week after the phase itself. So this moon phase reaction to a market bottom happened right away, but then a week before, a little under a week before, but kind of in the middle range of it, we had a move to the south. So what we can expect from this is that we could continue to move down farther until tomorrow, or after tomorrow rather, or we could just consolidate for a while and then slowly drift back up. But on the UJ pair, again, because a lot of these are in extremes, I am hanging on. I want to get into some pullbacks here because we really don't have a breakout opportunity. We are going to get some support at this angle here, maybe. This gray angle may act as support because this value area did not. We may have to wait till we get down to the 110 area. Now, if this angle breaks, the next angle below is down in the 108 value area. That's a long ways down. So we should look for support here. And if not, we may have a great short opportunity to the south. But again, I'm going to want to wait till tomorrow. And I'm going to wait for tomorrow for a couple of reasons on these trades, because it's a holiday. The volume is going to be low. And like I've said about holiday moves, is that Whatever direction they were moving before a holiday generally means they're going to continue that direction. Remember Thanksgiving, Christmas, things just moved in one direction. They rarely change. So we may not see any type of pullback or move or support on any of these. Same with the euro. We may not see any corrective selling from those levels at all either. So we just want to be aware of a lot of that. Um, we just don't have a lot of trade opportunities over the holidays. And I don't like to trade during the holidays, no matter what the holiday is, actually. The pound, dollar, I mean, anything with the dollar is getting a nice run up right now. But if we're looking back here, see, this is kind of what I'm talking about, is that we may just have continued movement to the top side in the euro until tomorrow. And then even then, we may not have a lot re-entry. I mean, we would really like a pullback to get back in here. That may not happen. If things move in a parabolic fashion, I mean, they don't always have to pull back, but they almost always do. They almost always have an equally violent move that they had going up that they will going down. But that doesn't always happen. And so if this is the true value area, or even if it's farther up, all that will happen is we'll have one of those consolidation zones. Everything will kind of cool off, time will catch up with price, and we'll just relax for a little while, and there'll be some distribution and accumulation up here, and then we could just be like waiting for the next drive up. Because if the dollar gets continued weaker, then the euro becomes more expensive. All right? And the ECB does not want a really, really strong euro. They rely heavily on exports, and so the more expensive it gets to buy their stuff, the fewer sales you get. So we want to be watching this area a lot. I'm just, all the pairs are like that right now. We can't really get a whole lot of trades in unless they're going to be pullbacks, and we may not see those till tomorrow because that's when the holiday's over, and then we have more participants in the market. But that is the kind of the Forex look this morning. Not a fun one, not a great one, not a lot of opportunity. Okay, so let's go over to cryptos. All right. So my crypto forecasts have been working out. We hit this area well ahead of time a couple weeks ago. And then over the weekend, I said that we wanted to get to this by the 13th, which we did, but then we just kind of had a slow weekend melt here, got stuck in this time cycle, in this arc here. So right now for Bitcoin, we have a lot of movement up from this area because resistance arc is here, so we have a little while to move up. We are coming to the start of a new moon. But we're not at market highs, so we don't have a whole lot of stuff to worry about. We could, that ideally what would happen, and here's my original price area. I want it to be around here, between the 10th and the 16th. I could even make myself sound smarter and say, why don't we move the 16th to the 18th or so? But these are the two areas that it should now trade in between until we get to the 31st. We should see some higher prices in Bitcoin. Now the scenario, if this is the start of a new moon phase, which it says it's at or near market highs, and sometimes things don't respond to those moon phases until a week before or a week after, we could see a steady week of increase, only to have next Tuesday be our response to those high prices, and we come down and sell off maybe back towards 1462, or even down further, a parabolic move to the south to the 10 area, but then have some responsive move out, because that is the most likely scenario. For any further movement up, we'll have to come up, test this area, then get resistance for a long time of this arc. That'll be a very similar move to what we saw back here. And then we get down to this bottom, and then on this final arc, because we would like to have price down in between 14.6 and 13.24, we would love to see price sitting around here if we got to this level, because we have a pretty easy move out and up. So we will be at the end of this square, this price action square, this Gann square, on the 25th, 26th by the latest. And, it's entirely possible that we stay in this tight range. But I want to take a look real quick at Bitcoin on the daily. Should look at what's going on here. My cats are going crazy upstairs. We have a little bit of a flag and pennant going on here. I know we've looked at this before, but just be aware that these tighter ranges should happen for a while. And here's the thing: where does this come to a point? On the 1st of November. Now, when is the new low moon? When is the new full moon? A full moon means that prices are likely to go up for 1 to 2 weeks. Where is the new cycle after the 16th? It's on the 31st. All right, let's look at moon phases. Moon phase calendar. The next full moon is January 31st. So January 31st is right there. All right. Bull flag, bull pennant, consolidative move. We get to the 31st at a full moon. These are kind of easy trades where you just put a trade above or below. But I mean, you can only go short, or you can only go long in these markets. Well, you can go short, but most everybody can only go long. So if we're operating on the probability that we're going to see higher prices, because of the nature of this construction, the nature of Bitcoin, the nature of cryptocurrencies in general, the inflow of capital, and we have a lot of capital waiting on the sidelines. Okay, a lot of these exchanges are not accepting new accounts. Rumor is that this week they will start opening accounts, maybe even today, because all the Wall Street people got their bonuses and they want to dump their money into cryptocurrencies. All right. So we have this consolidative move, and we should see a nice burst out of this zone. All right. Cool. Ethereum. It has had a parabolic move. It should have a pullback. Let's go over here. Ethereum. Okay, now this is looking a lot healthier. All right, we're trading below this 1-2 line, and so we want to see a drift back to equilibrium. We want to see some movement over here. We're strong chance of a kind of a ping-ponging area, maybe just on this support arc now. So we may have slowed down the momentum on here, which is good. Litecoin, it's still stuck in time. I was talking about that the point of entry number 2 here means that that this is the real level. This is where price is actually at. All right. That when price is trading inside the arcs, that means that it's on pause. Okay, whatever price is here, it's not actually here. This chart is lying to us. Our eyes are lying to us. Our calculations are lying to us because it's outside of time right now. It's buffering. It's like it's sinking. Sinking like it's trying to get back in sync. So that is what the behavior of this area is inside these arcs. That's why you often see price jerk out of these fast, where price gets rejected fast or it finds support fast when it's trading inside of it. That can be a good opportunity because the point of entry into this arc was at 262.68. So that is where we expect price to be at when it finally exits. You can see that it did return to it up here, but we're still moving. And if we stay inside this arc, we could stay inside this arc for quite some time. I mean, we wouldn't be out of it until the 27th. And we could be all the way back down to 82. I find that a little unlikely. But certainly that could happen. But we've had just a lot of kind of dull movement in here, indicative of a weekend, and we should see, if it comes out, it should be a pretty big move to the top, okay? Anyways, that's your Martin Luther King Day in the United States trade. Not a lot of opportunities going on into today. We should see a lot more happening tomorrow. I only have a trade on there for the euro dollar. Yeah, kind of had a not the greatest setups over the last few days, but you know what? That is normal, and we should expect that. Not every day is going to be a great trading day, and it shouldn't. Otherwise, it's not healthy. Just going back to looking at the euro here, we do see that prices are continuing to want to expand higher and higher and higher. Let's even look at it on a 5-minute chart. Let's see what's happening. You know, generally, you know, when we're at these levels, like when you're at levels like, you know, like 2281, 22, you know, 90, 2295, that's just kind of holding before it wants to blast through another area. So we may just be hanging on here to blast through 23. You know, it'd be weird if we found actual big resistance here. But if we go back to the daily chart, the top area, if this keeps moving up, where are you at? Lock scale, there we go. Oh. Oops. So our top area that we'd be looking at is I thought that was different. Is this arc right up here? If we're going to go straight parabolic, move higher, we're going to be looking at the 2357 area. All right. So that's within 60 pips of movement from now. 60, 70 pips of movement. So we just want to be on the lookout for that. Man, that is a big, beautiful bar, isn't it? From 120.30 all the way to 122. That is a big move. That is a monster move. That's the biggest move in price range. All the way to the top. 187 pips. 187 pips. So, well, it was larger than. Well, it's been over a year since we had a move like that, but let's see, we have. Oh, that's pretty even. 196 versus 187, 9-pip difference. Yeah, we'll say they're pretty even. But this is definitely one of the biggest moves of the last. How far back do we have to go? We are back in 2017 again. Keep zooming. Boom, boom, boom. 2016 in December had a move similar, actually bigger, and again in December, I guess we'd be looking at all the election time periods. So let's discount that and go back to, yeah, well, we'll just say over a year and a half maybe. That's one of the biggest moves over the last year and a half. Single day moves. It's pretty big move, and pretty parabolic move as well. So just be careful of these elevated areas of trading them short or long. Kind of want to wait till tomorrow brings to see what our pull we want a deeper pullback to get back in here. All right. So, anyways, yeah, we will talk with you all tomorrow morning. Have a great trading day and trade safe and trade smart. Bye bye.